Welcome to episode 63 of Tools in the Hall. Let's start right off with something cool from OTC. This is a magnetic drain plug tool, and it has a screwdriver style handle with a flexible shaft, and it'll catch your drain plug so that just before it comes loose, put that on there to loosen it the rest of the way, and take your drain plug off without dropping it in the drain pan, or if you do drop in the drain pan, pick it out of the drain pan with this. This also has a quarter drive attachment to it, so you can use it with the regular sockets, so you can start sockets in tough to reach places. Very handy. This is going to a GS in a shop, young kid who's just starting to tool up, and he's being very cautious about what he buys. I've impressed upon him, as well as other guys in the shop, don't go too heavy into tool trucks until you know that this is what you're going to want to do for your career. So he's being cautious, and I think he's doing it the right way, and I'm giving him some advice where I can, as well as seeing the guys in the shop. So I think he's got a good crew around him, and hopefully he won't be making real ugly mistakes that some guys make when they're particularly young and just starting out. And I know he's eager to tool up like the other guys in the shop are, but he's been doing a good job of tapping the brakes and just getting the things he knows he needs. You might consider something like this kind of a non-necessity item. It's more of a nice to have than a need to have, but something like this will make his job easier, and where he's focusing a lot on oil and fluid changes, I think that this in particular makes sense for him. Next, we have a 3-piece, 3/8 locking chrome extension set from gearwrench. This has a 3-inch, 6-inch, and 10-inch extension in it with a locking collar at the square drive end. This is going to a customer who he's a veteran of the industry. He's just been deficient in chrome extensions, so that one's going to him this week. If you know me at all, you know I'm a big fan of Milwaukee, and I've especially been a big fan of their new hammers, and I've been regularly restocking these because I keep selling. This is their 32-ounce ball peen dead blow with hard faces, and this is the 48-ounce dead blow with soft faces. Both have extraordinarily good handles where the grips are firm, solid, and will not slip. They also have holes in the bottom so you can put a hanging loop on there or hang it on a peg. They have the sizes of the hammers stamped. Get it right side up. Stamped right on the butts. Why is that important? Well, because they both have a feature where they have a square surface on the top of the head. So you can stand these up like that, and if you're looking down on it, you can easily see the size. It might seem like a little, maybe even insignificant feature, but it's a little thing like that that adds a little more efficiency to how you get through your day, and every bit of efficiency you can realize can translate into more money in your pocket if you're flagging hours for a living. So bravo to Milwaukee on how they've designed these. People have been buying these way more than they buy the gearwrench ones, and I do know guys that have gotten these instead of the Snap-on ones, because not only are they far less expensive than Snap-on, quality seems to be just as good, if not better, than Snap-ons are, and warranties on these have a lifetime warranty, and Milwaukee is a breeze to deal with when it comes to processing any warranty claims. So for those reasons alone, I give the edge to these hammers over any other brand, except maybe for the Bash brand of hammers from Wilton, but that's really a different category. Those are hard-faced sledgehammers. They also have brass hammers, and their stuff is expensive, but it is extremely high quality and worth every penny. So it's kind of hard to compare all that Milwaukee has right now in their different hammers, and they only have 4, to the entire lineup of Wilton, because they're really not quite a one-to-one comparison. Although Wilton does have soft-face dead blows and ball peens, they're different designs, and they're going to be attractive to people with different budgets, different places in their career. So you might find people are gravitating toward the Milwaukee ones, where later on they might want some offerings that Wilton has. Because Milwaukee only has 4 hammers, they only have 2 ball peens and 2 soft face dead blows, where Wilton has a lot of different head designs, handle lengths, and head weights, as well as different materials like steel and brass. When you need to gear up your impact socket collection, consider, among other brands, Pneumatic. Their stuff is very high quality. This is the 1/2-inch drive deep fractional socket set. There are 19 in here. Did I get that right? I think 19 sockets. And this is going to a diesel technician who doesn't have a really solid, comprehensive collection of deep fractional impact sockets. So he asked me for a recommendation, went through the flyers, the first place to go, because we'll look at Sunex, gearwrench, and Pneumatic as the go-tos. Once we start looking at brands, we can look at the configurations of their sets. We can compare pricing and availability. Warranties are all lifetime on those 3 brands. The only caution about Pneumatic is you have to go through the dealer you purchased them from to get warranty claims processed, and they do not honor warranties if you buy them from an Amazon retailer or other online discount retailer like eBay. So just know that about this brand. The quality is outstanding, the pricing is very good, so it's a very attractive alternative for a lot of guys. Continuing my unabashed love affair with Milwaukee, this is their 10-piece Torque Lock locking pliers set. What's so cool about these that you don't find in the vice grip set? Well, they're very similar to the vice grip set. You can buy the same 10-piece vice grip set that has the same configuration of pliers in here. The difference is that these have a torque lock feature, and I'm sorry I can't show it to you very easily because the box is so big, but you can see on the bottom here, there's a red thumb turn with a hole in it, and you can use that to put a screwdriver in and torque it around once you've tightened it down to get it even tighter. And vice grips do not have that feature. Now, because of that feature on the Milwaukee ones, they're made a little beefier than the vice grips are. So there's a little more material put in the critical parts of these pliers, so you're not going to get the wear and fatigue on these that you might get if you overstress the Irwin ones. This 10-piece set's about $50 less than the Irwin set of vice grips are. And both brands carry lifetime warranties. So I would give the edge to Milwaukee in price alone, but they do have that additional torque lock feature, which is popular, and they're built to a little bit heavier standard. If you work on wheels on big trucks, you're probably going to wish you had one of these truck wheel stud installers from Lisle. It's kind of a cool design. You hammer out the old wheel stud, then place the tool over the new stud that you're putting in. There's a thrust bearing on here which pulls the new stud into place, and you can tighten it with either an impact or a hand ratchet. I have a customer who wants 2 of them to make his job faster and easier, and they're not the cheapest things in the world. They're, I think, $60 a piece, but when you work on what this guy works on, he works on trash trucks, so he does a lot of wheel work. It's going to make his life a whole lot easier, so he's going to breathe a sigh of relief when I finally get those delivered to him this week. No tool truck is complete without always having a selection of 1/2-inch drive, 1 5/16 or 33mm sockets on hand. The deep ones particularly for guys who work on truck wheels. These are required for the heavy truck lug nuts. And because I always have them because A, they always break, and B, guys are having to buy them new anyway all the time. The reason they break so much isn't because they're inferior quality. It's because so many people who service truck wheels drive the lug nuts on so much that they wind up over-torquing them. Usually they're slamming them on with a 1-inch air impact, and they over-torque the crap out of the lug nut. How are you going to get that off if you're using, say, a 1/2-inch impact? And a lot of shops don't have 1-inch guns, so their technicians who have half-inch guns have to take those over-torqued lug nuts off. So they use this socket. And because this is just a half-inch drive and their gun is going to be a lot lower power than the one that put the lug nuts on, they're going to work extra hard to take those lug nuts off. So they're sitting there and just away on the lug nuts waiting for them to start to turn. And when they finally do not touch this or the anvil on your impact, because it will be very, very hot, because a tremendous amount of energy goes into trying to move those lug nuts. When these heat up like they do, and the anvil of your impact heats up like it does, it's gonna change the temper of the metal. When that does, they'll become more brittle and they will crack and break. So again, not a deficiency in the design or the materials, it's just they're being used beyond their limitations. Still covered under warranty. I'll still get you new ones when they break, but the bottom line is understand what the limitations are, and if you move to a larger drive size like a 3/4 or 1-inch impact, you will reduce that breakage significantly because there's simply more material there to dissipate the heat before it winds up changing the temper of the alloy. These are from Sunex. I normally keep these as the ones on the truck. Sometimes I'll have gearwrench on there or the gray pneumatic ones if these aren't available, but these are usually widely available, easy to get, and they're fairly cheap. I think they're under 30 bucks for a socket. So good pricing on these, and they seem to last a good long time. I'm just looking through this bag to see what else I got. Just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff, like a, I don't know, it's like a straight fluid extractor, a replacement battery for a Streamlight Stylus Pro USB, flashlight, some gear wrench, chrome, universal adapters. I got a 1/2 inch, a 3/8, and a 1/4 for a guy who need all 3 sizes. I've got a couple of platinum branded double spline wrenches. This is from my distributor called Medco. They make these platinum branded ones. These are the same exact ones that you've seen under the Mako, Cornwell, K-Tool, Mountain brands. Everyone that sells this style wrench has all the same ones that come out of the same factory. So it's just branded for whoever's selling it at the time. These are a tried and true light from Coast. This is their HP3R model of pen light. Comes with a bite ring and a pocket clip. Turn the barrel there to focus the beam, and it has a rechargeable power cell in there, but it also takes AAA batteries, so you can swap them out if you wanted to. And you've heard me brag a lot about Coast. They have a lifetime warranty on their lights, and those 2 patented features, one of the focusing beam and one of the dual power, is something that most all of their lights have. So I'm a big fan of Coast for a lot of reasons, including those, and the fact that when you compare these lights to a similar stream light, you're going to pay less for the Coast ones. In addition to their pen lights, they have excellent flashlights and headlamps. Their XP series lights, I do believe, are second to none. About half the price of Streamlight, and have those same features and a lifetime warranty that I mentioned at a fraction of the cost. So when I stock stuff on the truck, it's Coast. I do carry some Streamlight products, but not ones that compete with these lights, because when you put a Streamlight light side by side with a Coast light, and people ask what the differences are, and I run down that list, they will choose the Coast one every time. So I can get people Streamlight products if they want, but when it comes to putting stuff in inventory, it's Coast all the way. And finally, I have something I can't show you in person because it's too big and heavy to bring in here and put on video. I have it on a pallet out in my garage. From John Dow Industries, it's the 25-gallon low-profile oil drain with an electric pump. Has a 22-gallon functional capacity, 4 beefy 6-inch industrial casters, and a long T-handle that you can use to wheel it around the shop. It's 48 inches long, 25 inches wide, and 8 inches high. It's a big unit, and it will handle an awful lot of fluid that you're draining from large trucks or heavy equipment. This one is going to a heavy equipment shop, and the manager bought it for his guys because it's kind of pricey, so typically you don't see technicians footing the bill themselves for this, but They asked the shop manager if he would buy it for them. He said yes, and he asked me to place the order. So thanks for the business there. I really appreciate being able to supply the shop with stuff that makes their guys' lives that much easier, because everybody's happy. And when they feel that kind of loyalty to a shop, you tend to have your good guys hanging around a good long time, and it works out well for everybody. So I hope you enjoyed this tool haul. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, because it helps us grow, reach a wider audience, and I get some additional ad revenue, so I do appreciate the help there. And all it takes is a click to subscribe. So keep watching the channel, because we have all kinds of new videos coming down the line. We're going to be doing some air tool repair videos. I have a 1/2-inch Matco impact that's coming on the bench, and a 3/4 drive Matco air impact, as well as the regular tools in the haul videos, and of course our After Dark segments will be included in those as well. So do me a favor and click down here now to subscribe so that you don't miss any of it. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, use a tool. Don't be one.